Hello, I'm Jordan Kelly, Content Director at Brand Storytelling, and it's my pleasure to invite you to a community conversation on partnering with brands by way of creativity and social impact. We're here with co-founder of Playing for Change, Mark Johnson. Mark is a Grammy Award-winning producer and engineer who has worked with hundreds of musicians, including Paul Simon, Jackson Browne, Keith Richards, Jimmy Buffett, Sarah Bareilles, Bono, and Ringo Starr, to name a few. Mark founded Playing for Change to inspire and connect the world through music, recording and filming musicians performing in their natural environments all over the world. The Playing for Change Foundation has brought joy to hundreds of millions of music lovers globally with its Songs Around the World series, which helps create visibility for its music education programs and humanitarian aid efforts. Mark, welcome.
Thank you. Honored to be here.
I'd also like to introduce Brand Storytelling community member Julie Davitz. Julie is the founder and CEO of Plus Media Solutions, the organization empowering brands to engage target audiences to take action in support of their purpose-driven goals. Plus Media's innovative impact hubs enable brands to foster greater connection with their audiences while also making the world a better place. Julie, thanks for being here.
Great to see you again, Jordan. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to listening to both of you talk more with our community about your respective organizations and how you create impactful change for yourself and for others. So without further ado, I'll let you take it away. Julie, the floor is yours.
Super. Thank you. And live today from Bryant Park in Midtown Manhattan. It's great to see you again, Mark. And as you know, I'm a huge fan of Playing for Change. And let's kind of set the stage and tell people why you created Playing for Change, the history, and the genesis of it all.
Right on. Well, thank you, Julie. And I just want to say what an honor it is to be included in this today. So my name is Mark Johnson, founder of Playing for Change. Playing for Change was really born out of a question. I had graduated from the University of New Hampshire, was looking for what kind of future I wanted to create for myself. And I wanted to find one thing in this world that could unite everybody. There's so many differences all over the world, but we need to focus on the connections, the thing that reconnect us back to the one group we're all a part of, the human race. So I was working at a recording studio in New York City, and I was on my way to work, and I was in the subway, and there were two monks painted all in white, with robes on. One was playing a guitar and the other singing. I don't know the language. I imagine most people didn't know the language. But on this day in the subway, everybody stopped and everybody's watching this music. And as I looked around, I just had this epiphany. Two things really hit me. I would see a homeless man next to a businessman and a little girl next to an elderly woman. And when the music played, they were so connected. So it taught me that, the things that divide us, they disappear when the music plays. And the second thing I learned is that the best music I heard in my life was on the way to the studio and not in the studio. So I figured, okay, I could spend my life in the studio, but I'm never going to be a part of whatever that just was. That was magic. So that's the day Playing for Change was born, with the idea to bring the mobile recording studio, bring the same equipment I'd use with Paul Simon in the studio, and bring it outside to the streets, to the subways, Native American reservations, villages, the Himalayan mountains, and go out there and use music as a tool to reconnect humanity. So that was really the beginning of Playing for Change, was born out of that idea. Since then, I've been able and fortunate enough to record music in over 65 countries, and some of them, 20 times, just continuing to build a family. So we're not really just making music, we're making a family with all the people we meet all over the world through the music. And that's what really, I think, inspires all of us with Playing for Change, is that it never ends, because there's always more songs to record, more people to connect, and more schools to build.
So this is sounding really complicated. How do all of these musicians come together?
Well, I actually travel. It's just these songs around the world are made brick by brick. So I travel to each place with a small crew, with a mobile recording studio and cameras. And we record each person individually, live outside. That way, a lot of people, they don't get to travel in the world. So we felt like, well, if we're going to film this, let's give people a window into the world that they may never otherwise see, and show how there's so much joy everywhere. and really kind of give people a new way to see the world through the lens of music, which is always inspiring, hopeful, and full of a lot of love. So everywhere I've been all over the world, whether they're dangerous places or not, we're always welcomed with open arms because of our intention, because we're coming to connect people through the music, through the culture. So we build each of these songs brick by brick. Our first one was Stand By Me, that we took around the world. And I remember the first musician I recorded on the street for that song, his name was Roger Ridley. And I remember saying to him, "Man, you sound like Otis Redding. What are you doing singing on the street?" And he said, "I'm in the joy business. I come out to bring joy to the people." And ever since then, that's been our mantra. This is the joy business. Let's go out and show people how amazing this world is, and how even though we have different religions, race, politics, money, we still can connect on such a deeper human level through music, through art, and through culture.
So I discovered you guys when I watched The Wait,
Oh,
and
yeah.
that to me just blew my mind. And then I learned more about your mission, and what I think is important for us to talk about today is that your mission and how brands and businesses can go on this journey with you. You might want to share a little bit about what's coming up and your work with traditional medicinals.
Sure. I mean, the thing about Playing for Change, and it's the reason it's a perfect fit for brands, is because it's always been based on collaboration. So for us to go record a song around the world, this may include 50 different musicians from 50 different places that have never actually met in person. And sometimes it can take 50 people just to help us get to the village to record the drummer or whatever it is we're going to record. So it's built on collaboration. Our first partner, one of my great friends and mentors, was the great Norman Lear. And Norman came on as our first partner. When he saw Stand By Me and some of the first songs around the world, he was so excited and said, "Look, I want to take this out and I want the world to see this." And the first person he introduced us to was Howard Schultz at the time with Starbucks. And that's when Starbucks were selling music in their stores. And between Norman Lear and Howard Schultz, our album was top 10 of Billboard with all street musicians, native musicians, and Bono. Of course, Bono joined in early on. And, we realized the power of this to also support brands, because Howard Schultz said to me once, "Nobody's ever going to forget the first time they saw a Playing for Change video." So the reason that adds a lot of strength to a brand is because that association of being in that moment in time where people feel more connected to themselves and the world they live in, that's a magic moment, especially in such a divided world. So it's a great opportunity for brands to partner with us, to showcase both of our missions. We can use our songs around the world often to be a catalyst to brand storytelling, to campaigns. We can work together to support different causes. And when these videos started, it was really, maybe Norman Lear, my mom and my dad, and a few people that had ever seen them. And now it's over 2 billion people. So what happens is brands that partner with us, it just keeps growing and growing, more visibility, and most importantly, the impact. The way people feel when they watch the videos, it can inspire them to go out and do something good with their time and to be more positive and connected. So when we partner with brands, we really look to find a way to support their identity and find a way to use these videos as a way, to spearhead campaigns. So some of these videos can take a long time to make. And I admit that this next one that we're premiering on Rolling Stone, actually, this Friday, is No Woman, No Cry, the Bob Marley classic. And we actually went to Brazil and recorded the legend Gilberto Gil singing in Portuguese. Then we went to Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica, and added Stephen Marley, as well as, about, I don't know, well over 20 other musicians in over 10 different countries. And this is in partnership with Traditional Medicinals. They make tea. And, everywhere I would go around the world, there were always people drinking throat coat tea because it's great for singers. So they have a campaign, Voices Are for Using, Not Losing. So they've partnered with us for No Woman, No Cry. We've offered them the opening card, the presenting sponsor. But then we also are working to use this video as a campaign for their charity called Women Serve, which helps provide rights to girls all over the world and empowers them. So it's an amazing kind of culmination because people can watch this song with legends, with native musicians, all unite together. They can feel something, but then they can take that energy and directly put it towards Women Serve, go be a part of the positive action in the world. So these songs and these partnerships really spark, I think, a lot of energy, a lot of positive energy around the world. And so, it was built on collaboration, built on partnerships. And we feel like, this is now our best time because going into 2025, we finished some of our biggest songs around the world ever. And we are actively looking for partners who want to join us in celebrating the power of music, but also use this as a way to drive their brand messaging and also the impact we can leave socially on the world.
Absolutely. And I see this as a really unique brand storytelling opportunity. There's nothing more universal. There's no more universal language than music. And where Plus Media fits in is we're looking to take Playing for Change to the next level because, as you just said, Mark, it's all about connection. And when Plus Media is plugged in to a Playing for Change video, getting, millions of eyeballs, with one tap or click, that viewer then can engage with the video, can engage with the brand, can engage with the cause. And then we measure on the back end all of that impact that Playing for Change is creating. So it's a super new, easy way to take that inspiration to the next action level and measure what's happening. So for brands, it's a big value add because they can get a little bit more sparkle, a little bit more attention, and even highlight a particular product.
That's amazing. And being able to take the videos from, the thing is that our videos, they continue to grow over time. So we have songs around the world like Stand By Me or The Wait. They're still getting 40 or 50,000 people a day watching them 10 years later. So what happens is it really just grows over time. Each video supports the other videos. So it's a really great opportunity, I think, for brands to get involved in the power of really the empowerment of this audience, because this isn't, a YouTube video with that's just based on humor or something lighthearted. It's music, but it hits people in such a deep way that I think it can inspire people to get more involved, to care more about themselves and the world they live in. And that's a great way to associate with a brand.
I think you just, encapsulated our whole conversation perfectly, Mark. I think what we want to leave the audience with is, wow, let music inspire you, and brands, let music add value to your brand and engage the audience and keep it alive for a much longer time. So thanks so much, Mark, for joining us today and giving us some of your time. We're really excited about a partnership with Brand Storytelling, and let's use brands to make change in the world.
Now that's amazing. And I just want to close by saying, since I opened the conversation talking about Norman Lear, I want to end the conversation with one of the quotes that he had said to me a few years ago. He said, there's three things in life that remind us we're all connected: music, laughter, and transcendence. The idea of being a part of something bigger than ourselves. And with Playing for Change, we have all three: music, the joy business, and a movement of the people for the people all over the world. So I would like to call on any brands out there that are interested in learning more about Playing for Change. Come join the family and we'll find a great way to work together.
Absolutely. There's no dearth of music out there. Thank you so much. And thanks to Jordan and the rest of the Brand Storytelling crew.
Thank you, Jordan. And thank you, Brand Storytelling. It's been an honor to be here.
Fantastic. Thank you both. If for the folks who haven't checked out Playing for Change on YouTube, please go engage with that content. It's really, really moving and beautiful. No Woman, No Cry comes out on the 11th, correct?
Yeah, this Friday.
All right. Make sure to go check that out as well. Mark, Julie, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it and hope to talk to you again soon.
Right on. Thank you so much.